And now, you know, we had a talk before spring ball even started about, okay, now's your time, right? There's no more, there's a senior in front of me, there's no more excuses, or not that that was an excuse, but, you know, it's your time to shine. It's your job to win, it's your job to earn, and he's taking that on, you know, full steam ahead. So he has done some things every day. This young man has done something that kind of stands out, that catches you out like, wow, that's something that I haven't seen in the past. And then also there's times where it's like, come on, Brandon, you gotta, you know, get rid of that old habit, or that old habit to creep back in there a little bit.
It's cornerbacks.
Well, he definitely looks the part. You got that right. I mean, he's 6'3", 215, 220, somewhere in there. One of the most explosive. Obviously, if you talk to Coach Doyle, he's one of the most explosive guys on the team, not just the receiver position, but the whole team. So he has all the intangibles. Like I talk about speed and size, those two things you can't coach, and he has both of those. The key for me and the key for him is to take the fundamentals that we're teaching on a day-to-day basis through drills, you know, through teamwork, through drill work, and all those type of things. Take those fundamentals, pair them with his God-given abilities, and now you have something special. So once again, he is showing, you know, huge strides. Every day he just does something, you know, at least once a day, most times 2-3 times a day, where it's like, okay, that's what I'm hoping to see. That's what we're thinking when we recruited you, all those type of things, and now it's showing up. Amir, the next step for Amir is to just keep coming mentally. We were talking earlier about Brandon Smith and the mental aspect. Obviously, Amir is, once again, speed, right? Can't coach speed. He's one of the fastest players, you know, definitely in our room, probably on this team. So the next step with him is like we were talking about with Brandon. They're one and the same, even though they're totally different players and totally different personalities. They're one and the same from the aspect that Amir has to learn to trust what we're coaching him, trust the fundamentals, and trust what he has, which is speed, athleticism, and he's a very bright young man. He understands football. That kid studies football, he lives football. What he has to do is trust what we're coaching him, trust the system. Once we put those two together, we're going to have something special with him here.
How does it play with you and him when Coach Ferentz says, in, I think it was January or maybe February, put the phone down? He says that gets our attention. I'm sure it got your attention too.
No doubt. You know, that's something that I've seen even before you guys heard that in that press conference. I've seen that being with Amir now, however many months, it's been 8-9 months. That's something, obviously, when you're around an individual pretty much every day. I mean, let's be honest, when we're in this building, especially during the season, we pretty much live together. Right? We see each other as coaches and players more than I see my own family. That's just the way it is. So what you're saying and what Coach Ferentz said was no surprise to me. I see it on a day-to-day basis. It was probably a good thing that Coach Ferentz said that in a public setting, because it's one thing for Coach Cope to say it, you know, in a meeting or in our one-on-one meetings. But when Coach Ferentz, obviously Coach Ferentz, first of all, when he says that in a public setting, certain people hear it. And, you know, what's funny about that is Amir came to me after that. He was like, man, Coach, you know what? My people back home, they talking about me. I need to get off my phone. They threatening to take my phone and stuff because Coach Ferentz got in the press conference and said that I'm on my phone too much. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. So the more people that know that, so if you guys see him out and about, tell him to get off his phone. You know, really it comes down to learning our offense, right? And like Coach O'Keefe said, he said it best, being where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there. And there's a lot of elements to our offense, especially playing receiver. You have to see certain things, you know, before the ball is snapped, while the ball is snapped, and even after the ball is snapped. And you have to be able to compute this information and know, okay, I have to change or I can keep my assignment on. So just learning the ins and outs of our system, learning the ins and outs of what we want you to do as a receiver is going to help us, right? The more we progress as a room, as a position group, we're going to continue to get better.
Describe it in some.
No doubt. You know, the biggest thing that we have to understand, especially as young receivers or just young in general, as far as what we do, you know, the proof's in the pudding, so to speak. You are what you put on the film. That's first things first. I can think that I'm the best player or the best coach in my situation. I can think I'm the best coach in the world, but the truth of the matter is what's on that tape is who I am. Those receivers and how they perform, that's who I am as a coach. So if we perform great on a consistent basis, well, then I might start being seen as a great coach. If we're inconsistent, if we're competing and performing at a low level, then I'm a low-level coach. That hurts. That's a hard pill to swallow, but that's the truth. So getting young guys to understand, It's not what you think you are. It's how you perform on a day-to-day basis. You know, going back to the recruiting thing. You know, everybody wants to talk about 4 and 5 stars, right? It's not how good you are. It's how good you perform. That's the truth. So getting young guys to understand that day by day, perform at a high level. You know, not about potential. It's about production. We produce, continue to produce on a day-to-day basis, practice after practice, opportunity after opportunity, then we continue to grow. If we take a step back, that's a lost opportunity. But for the guys that are coming in that aren't on campus yet, really can't speak for those guys because you really honestly never know how a kid is going to conform to, like we just talked about, the schedule, for example. The demands of being a college football player, whether it's physically, in the weight room, playbook-wise, mentally, socially, out and about in the community. All those things play in when you're talking about an incoming freshman. So you never know. Potential versus production. That's all that truly matters. There's a lot of potential out there, but truly it comes down to production. Until those guys get on campus, I can't speak until they actually produce.